E o oficial de proteção de fronteira dos Estados Unidos, Bob Thompson, finalmente revelou detalhes de um dos vídeos mais polêmicos já lançados pelo governo dos Estados Unidos. Trata-se de um OVNI apelidado de pato de borracha, um objeto que se move a poucos metros do solo, fazendo movimentos estranhos e com formato irregular, e que pelo seu formato irregular foi apelidado com esse nome. Vamos ver um pouquinho da entrevista que eu separei do Bob Thompson para o Ross Coulter.
So Bob, the next video we want you to look at is, I think, the most interesting one. It's the rubber duck video. Now this is, importantly, this is the one that was sent by Andy to the Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies for analysis. And they concluded definitively this object is anomalous. Let's have a look at it. That is the weirdest thing.
It does have an odd shape.
Could it be a balloon? Maybe something dangling below the balloon?
No, I think you would probably see that in the video here. There's clearly enough room that, you know, if there was something dangling, it'd probably be a good 100-foot long, you know, cord if it was, you know, something above it. But to be honest, this shows, especially in the areas that are dark, that these may even be two separate objects.
The weird thing about it is it really does look like a rubber duck.
It does look like a rubber duck. And that's where the name came from.
Could it be two objects?
Well, there's been speculation that it could be two objects, and you can see a space clearly between the objects when you go over a dark spot of the video. And the other thing about it is it's a lot colder than the surrounding areas as well.
So what does the color of the object in this FLIR imagery mean?
It shows that that object is extremely cold.
So it's not showing
It's not showing heat. And we know that because the plane flies over several cows during the course of the video, and those cows will show up as black hot.
Just set the scene for me. Whereabouts is this taken?
Okay, so this video is taken down just off to the east of Sasebe, Arizona, on an area known as the Buenos Aires National Wildlife Area.
And the air above it is part of a military training.
The area above it is part of what is known as the MOA, Ruby Fuzzy MOA.
And it's a remote, isolated part of the Arizona desert.
It is a remote, isolated part of the desert. There is a port of entry off to the west that you can cross into Mexico. But these guys are out there. They were tracked and got called for a group of illegal aliens that had come through and were out there looking for them when this thing popped through the viewfinder. It just happened to go right where they were looking for the bodies. So there was some speculation at first that this may have been, you know, some kind of cartel distraction to get the pilots and air support off of where the group may have been, but that didn't seem to be the case as this continued on.
Okay, devil's advocate for a moment. I mean, it could be perhaps two balloons tied together. Maybe it is that. Maybe the cartel sent two interesting-looking balloons across the border to distract you. It appears just to be drifting erratically in a straight line.
Unfortunately, SCU's analysis did not show that, Ross. What the SCU's analysis showed was that object was going in a circular pattern as the RC-26 Metroliner was also circling over the top of it. They were making two circles at once.
Oh, so it's not going in a straight line at all?
It's not going in a straight line at all.
So the aircraft's tracking it as it's moving in a circle?
There was, and that's what the SCU report shows as well. So
what's in the middle of that circle?
That's yet to be determined. But it would be interesting to find out, see what it was looking for. And that's the way it was described, Ross. This was described as an object in some sort of search pattern.
So the implications of that are that on the SCU, on the Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies Analysis, this object's clearly intelligently controlled.
It does have that appearance.
Because is it fair to say it was moving in a controlled way?
That's what the pilots and the agent that gave it to me suggested, that it was in a search pattern.
They thought it was searching.
They thought it was searching for something, and that was even written in the intelligence report that accompanied it.
Were you able to speak to the pilots from the surveillance aircraft that recorded this?
I was, and I actually spoke to the sensor operator. The pilots weren't able to see this. They have a small screen in the front of the cockpit that allows them to see what the mission sensor operator is filming, but it's difficult for them because it's not on a large screen. The mission sensor operator described it just as we have said. They seemed to think it was searching for something, but they didn't know 100%. Their only thing that they could pair it to was maybe a drone or a balloon.
So SCU, the Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies, has ruled out the possibility that it was a balloon or a drone.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to talk to the pilots and the sensor operator now, because I don't think they know that information, and maybe this will help them, in the future.
Could it be some kind of technology that the US is testing in this remote part of the desert and unwittingly got caught by your surveillance cameras?
That's a distinct possibility, especially with the, kind of the climate of the Air Force bases and the private military contractors that are around the area. They certainly could be testing out something. I can't say for sure what it is.
I have to say, it's a ridiculous looking object.
It is a ridiculous looking object.
I think for the public domain, though, the crucial point to make is, whilst it looks like it's moving in a straight line, you've got an aircraft that's circling as it's circling.
One of the stranger things that I've heard, there was an individual that said it looked like a man seated in lotus position flying across the desert. That was one of the odder explanations that I had heard.
It's certainly pretty weird, but definitely anomalous.
Well, it's similar to some of the other ones too. At times, this object does appear to kind of look like one of the other ones that we have, which is La Bruja.
Bob, one of the problems I have with a lot of videos I get sent by people is they're blurry, they don't show much. But the cool thing about this video was that for the first time from the Border Protection videos, you were able to take it to a bunch of scientists who could analyze the data, the headings, the GPS points.
That's correct. I think the data sets are probably one of the more important parts of that video.
So that's corroborative evidence.
Corroborative evidence.
You've also got the eyewitness evidence.
Eyewitness
the
evidence.
Sensor operator.
Sensor operator and the agent.
And the what, sorry?
And the agent as well as the Border Patrol.
Oh, so there was a Border Patrol agent in the aircraft.
Sitting next to the sensor operator.
So two sets of human eyes looking at that object.
Looking at that human object.
They think it's weird.
They think it's weird.
The video, when you analyze it and look at the implications of these data sets, the GPS locations, the speed, is it moving particularly fast?
No, it's not moving overly fast, but it was certainly moving fast enough for them to, warrant looking at it, because I think originally they may have thought it was something carrying an object, and the person that filmed this, that was one of their concerns as well. But when they observed it long enough, they determined that it didn't appear to be carrying any object.
Because you've got to use your brain to watch this video, don't you? If you're a viewer sitting back home, what do you have to understand? It's not moving in a straight line.
It's not moving in a straight line, but it doesn't have the kind of the defined, what they are known as the 5 observables. So this is different in that aspect.
But it is showing one of the 5 observables. It's not showing any visible propulsion system.
Not any visible propulsion system.
Então vocês viram, né, que esse objeto tem um formato curioso. Há poucos anos, a Produção de Fronteira liberou vários vídeos. Eu vou deixar aqui para vocês na descrição desse vídeo um site que vocês podem acessar da Produção de Fronteira, onde tem documentos e os vídeos já liberados até hoje, para vocês poderem acessar na íntegra. Então vocês veem que o Bob Thompson deu ali múltiplas explicações possíveis, né? Primeiro, quando esse vídeo foi lançado, muita gente falou que deveria ser balões amarrados, né? Só que é uma coisa bizarra você ver balões amarrados no deserto. Aí depois vieram com uma outra explicação, que poderia ser balões amarrados, lançados ali por traficantes, imigrantes ilegais ali, fazendo tráfico de drogas na fronteira ali com o México, né? E estariam fazendo isso para distrair a produção de fronteira, para poderem fugir ou algo do tipo, né? Porém, depois foi analisado esse vídeo e viram ali a colisão científica, né? Para a pesquisa de fenômenos anômalos, os cientistas viram que esse objeto anômalo que está ali, ele não estava indo em linha reta, ele estava dando voltas em círculos. E até hoje a Proteção de Fronteira está tentando descobrir o que é que tinha no meio desse círculo que esse objeto parecia buscar, está procurando alguma coisa. Vários objetos, fenômenos desses seres e também objetos, fenômenos, em geral, parecem sempre estar buscando alguma coisa no solo, né? Há inclusive relatos de seres que parecem coletar. Eu mesmo já vi objetos que lançavam luz nas montanhas, fossem procurando algo nas montanhas. E esse objeto parecia estar fazendo algo desse tipo. Por ter um formato ali parecido com um contorno ali de um pato de borracha, foi apelidado de rubber duck, né? Ou patinho de borracha. E ali o Thompson coloca algumas teorias que falaram sobre esse objeto. Primeiro que ele deveria ser 2 objetos separados voando juntos, que seria uma coisa bem estranha. Você consegue ver isso, essa possibilidade, porque você tem ali o fundo da imagem contra esse objeto. Então você vê ali que de fato tem um espaço. Agora, é um fenômeno anômalo, né? Pode ser qualquer coisa ali. Então, não dá para dizer que é um objeto só, um objeto ligado ali. Lembrando que a imagem térmica, você não consegue ver perfeitamente a matéria, só aquilo que reflete ou emite ali a radiação infravermelha de ondas longas, que é o calor, né? Então, você não consegue ter uma ideia, de fato, do visual daquilo sem a parte térmica, né? E outra teoria mais absurda ainda que ele coloca é que chegaram a aventar que poderia ser um humanoide na posição da flor de lótus, né, que é a posição de meditação. Então, você vê que, de fato, uma coisa sem explicação, as pessoas começam a tentar pensar no que poderia ser aquilo. Claro que pode ser uma pareidolia, né? Essa explicação. Tendo visto que não há mais dados, pelo menos que não que a gente saiba, né, sobre esses fenômenos. Então é isso, novas informações estão vindo aí a público sobre os vídeos obtidos pela Proteção de Fronteira, novos vídeos também, novos denunciantes. Lembrando que a Proteção de Fronteira não tem um tabu, por exemplo, da Força Aérea, de serem proibidos de falar. Lá o assunto é falado mais abertamente. Inclusive a Força Aérea ia abrigar o Kona Blue, que era um programa que tinha o objetivo de analisar os OVNIs recuperados que iam ser devolvidos para Lockheed Martin, e a CIA bloqueou o Kona Blue e bloqueou essa transferência. Mas vocês veem que o órgão de investigação oficial do governo dos Estados Unidos ia ser dentro da Proteção de Fronteira por conta da falta desse tabu e de estigma. Eles iam ter mais liberdade para pesquisar o assunto. Acabou que as forças aí do mal, do governo, conseguiram interromper que isso fosse à frente, né? Mas existia proposta, tinha orçamento aprovado, enfim. Então é isso. Um abraço e até a próxima.